Hi my international friend! I just came back from Tenerife and I want to share with you every detail about Masca trekking in Tenerife, Spain. I tried to find this information before and I couldn't find it in YouTube. Hopefully it will be useful for you. If you want, you can skip to your desired chapter down here. First, I want to start with what is Masca. Masca is a small rural village in Tenerife that people say it looks like Spanish version of Machu Picchu, one of the 7 wonders of the world. Depending on your intention and physical condition, you can visit Masca in 2 ways. First, you can just come and take a look around the village and take some stunning pictures. Or second, you can conduct one of the hardest and at the same time the most adventurous trekkings on the island. This trekking is unique. It's upside down. I mean, you will start hiking down until the beach for about 3 hours and then you will ascend back for around 4 hours. You will need more time to go back because you will be very tired and the temperature when going back can be really challenging for some people, as the volcanic rocks absorb an enormous amount of heat. Bringing enough water for this part is crucial. The timings are average times based on already experienced hikers, which means that for you it may take even longer if you do many stops, for example, taking pictures, etc. So better if you don't plan anything else that day. Long time ago, there were boats that brought you from the beach back to the starting point, so you just had to hike down until the beach, which would make everything much easier. But in this moment, at least the last time I went there were no more boats. The guide said it's because there are an endangered bird species that are breeding in this area. So when they hear about boat sounds, they will feel afraid and leave their nest. And finally, the eggs will not be hatched. Hopefully, in the future, they will find a solution for this, because in my personal opinion, this trek is unnecessarily long and hard for most of the people. Anyway, let's talk now about the good part. How to arrive to Masca. First, you can go exclusively by car. If you come only to take a look, glance around, you may come by car. But there are very steep and tight roads. And once there are very little or no parking at all. So I highly recommend you to go by mixed system using car and public transport. For example, we drove our car from our hotel until Santiago del Teide. We left our car there where you can find many parking lots. And from there, we continued by bus 5 more minutes until the Masca bus station. The buses here are called Huawa. Just for your information, I went with the bus number 355 for the Titsa company. I'll leave you down here the link to their website in case you need it. You can pay the bus ticket in several ways. First, the 10 plus card, second, the 10 plus app, and the third, with cash. My personal recommendation is to pay with the 10 plus card or try with cash. We bought our ticket with the other option, the 10 plus app, and finally for who knows what reason, when we tried to verify the ticket, it didn't work and the driver asked us firstly to pay again with cash. Luckily, he was finally very nice to us and called his manager and accepted our condition. Also, the login process of the app is a little bit long and in my opinion, too complicated for tourists. On the other hand, the card, you can buy it in many transfer station or tobacco kiosks. There is one fixed cost of €5 for the card. Take this in account if you will use the card more time or exclusively for this trip, because then maybe it's better for you to try the third option. Supposedly, it is not allowed to pay with cash, although that when we were there, some people did it. So, in case you prefer to try with cash, I suggest you to give the driver the exact amount of money. It should cost around €1.45 per person for our mentioned trip, but I cannot promise if it will be accepted. One more advice, you must check the schedule of the bus if you don't want to wait too long or you don't want to miss one. Next, I would like to talk about how to book the Masca trekking. If you are finally convinced and are willing to do the trekking to Masca, you must firstly know that you must have an official permit from their website. Otherwise, it is not possible to access the path. You must fulfill the date when you are coming, and it's mostly free of charge, at least until the publication of this video. You should book the date around 1 month in advance. Could be even more time necessary, depending on the tourist season. And remember, Masca only open on Saturday and Sunday, so I suggest you to find an appropriate gap in your itinerary. Don't worry, any link you may need, I will write it in the description box below. If you try to find one date prior to 1 month average waiting list, you can also use one travel agency. There are several ones, but you will need to pay normally around 30 until 35 euros. That's what we did, because we went to Tenerife a little bit spontaneous and we booked the activity around 3 weeks before our flight. We went together with a group of 8 people from different countries. Our guides was very nice and he lent us some trekking canes which finally were absolutely useful. Now I will give you some very good tips and rules to do Masca trekking, which I partially look from the official website and also based on my personal experience. First, you must bring your ID card, passport, or Ausweis. Second, the reservation ticket. I guess you don't need to print it. You can show it just in your mobile phone. Third, you must bring closed mountain hiking footwear with aggressive locks. They will check the sole of your shoes at the entrance. This is probably the most important point. If they think your shoes are not appropriate, they will deny the access. From the website, they show some examples of which shoes are allowed and which ones are not. This kind of shoes are not allowed. This one and this one are allowed. Fourth, you don't need to bring a cap because they will lend you one helmet, which is obligatory to wear during all the trek under all circumstances. This one is also really important. You must bring a minimum 2 liters of water or other liquid per person. I finished exactly 2 liters water, so make sure you bring enough based on your need and keep most of the water for the ascending part because you will need most of it there. If you like, I also recommend you to bring some energy drinks for the last part of the ascending because it really will boost your energy for around 1.5 hours. Next, you must bring your mobile phone fully charged. It's written in their website. I recommend you to bring a power bank as well. They didn't really check it, but I think it's very important in case something happened there and you need to be picked up by a helicopter. Because inside there is very uncertain. You could fall and break your legs or run out of energy, or a rock can fall from the cliffs and knock you out. I actually heard rocks falling several times. You also need to bring specific medication in case you need some. It is very personal, so you must adjust to your health condition. Obviously, you can already guess that this activity is not appropriate for people who suffer from any kind of heart, lung, or physical deficiencies. It could be extremely dangerous. You should also bring some food for lunch. For example, one sandwich, snacks, or whatever you like. Protein bars and high-level sugar snacks are also recommended. There is one important limitation which says that the minimum time to reach the beach is at 14 or 2 p.m. Anyone that didn't reach the shore at 2 p.m. must start to return back to the entrance obligatorily. Some guides divide it into 3 event points around the path will make sure that no one remains there after that moment, which means that you must not stop too much when descending. There is barely time enough to take pictures or make a break. Be aware of it. You should also book the first hour available to start the trip if you want to profit from that one extra juicy hour to be able to do the activity a little bit more relaxed. There are also some part of the trek where it is not allowed to stop walking due to the risk of landslides or rocks falling. You must cross these areas as soon as possible. It's not obligatorily, but I highly recommend you to bring hiking canes. I found them totally useful, moreover when going up, because they really support your legs. You can save around 30% of your energy reserves with them. You should bring also one plastic bag to throw garbage, as it is not allowed to throw any kind of waste there. One more tip, although booking the activity with one tour guide may seem apparently useless for some people, I consider that they are trained people that know exactly what to do in emergency situations. They bring you extra water and garment in case someone is in need. And it could be the difference between staying alive or not in very unlucky scenarios. Hopefully, no one ever has to arrive to experience that limit. Also to consider, based on their website, minors should be accompanied by an adult or bring an authorization letter if they are not accompanied by their legal guardians. Children under 8 years old are directly not allowed to take part in the activity. You should check the official website to make sure you are up to date with any possible new rules or changes from the publication of this video. Next, I want to share about what to see in the Muscat trekking. So you will cross one valley between two enormous cliffs until arrive to the shore. At the beginning, there are landscapes with different kind of vegetation and cactus. After 1 hour approximately, the views start to transform into a very beautiful group of rocks formation of all kinds. You will also cross one natural rock formation which looks like an elephant trunk. And there's even one cave that currently remains closed. Finally, you will arrive to one amazing beach where you can refresh your feet and take a short rest before starting the hike up. Then start the hard part. When going up, you will have to focus on the ascending so you won't have so much time and willingness to observe the nature. I give the advice to take the respective pictures when going down. You will still have the mood for it and you will not be sweaty yet. And lastly, I'm going to give my personal opinion about the trip. Is it worth it? I'm not pretty sure about that because I am not really kind of hiking person. If you love hiking and trekking and you are a fit and trained person, then it's probably perfect for you. Besides, for most of the people, probably it will be enough to just come and take a look around the village, take some photos, and that's it. I can assure you that the views are really stunning. But 7.5 hours to go and go back for those views are, at least for me, probably overrated. If in the future they change the current situation and you will only need to go down until the beach, then I will find it quite appropriate for most of the people. But to go and go back, it's simply too much. As mere hint, after the trekking, the next day I could barely walk. My legs were completely wiped out. I finished one full cream for muscle pain and I started to recover completely after 3 or 4 days. So take it in account or it may ruin your following activities if you are not physically fit enough. The last decision is in your hands. I hope you enjoyed the video and hopefully it was useful. And see you in the next video. Bye!